Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. Chris, you bloody froze there. Give me a heart attack there. I thought you were at the wind-up. Handle that. But no, welcome to the show, everyone. It is our usual weekly session of question and answers. If you've got questions, SEO, digital marketing related, ask them here. Try not ask us about the best link building strategy, because that can take like an hour itself to answer, but we try and be very specific with your questions, because we just don't have time to answer, very loose questions. But let us know where you're from, who's here. Let's say hello, give us a like and subscribe. Also check out ODYS, and I can never get this right. That's the channel sponsor. You can get £100 sign-up bonus if you're interested in premium age domains, and you can take advantage of that. If not, then you can get your questions answered. So put your questions in the chat. We do have Mullins was here early. Fred Hutterson, you're normally always first. Saw you first yesterday. Larry Saunders, hello. Randy Roday, Adam Hawthorne, Ian Walker, Gary Farmer, a Facebook user. Facebook users, your names don't come up unless you allow Facebook to use your name. I think you need to click allow or something. But Gary Farmer, Lithgay, which is a Scottish place. Chris will be like, what the hell is Lithgay? But whilst you guys are piling in, Chris, what has been happening this week? Anything crazy?
Nothing crazy. Not for me. Nothing crazy. Just working, just normal business at hand. That's about it. Trying out some new stuff that I stumbled onto. That's about it. Nothing. Just trying out something new I stumbled into. I'm just seeing if they're full of it. I just want to see for myself. That's really what I'm doing. Is this guy full of it? Let's go see. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm doing the big scrape, and I'm going to run through. I'm going to try it 10 times. Like if it works, if I get 1 out of 10, I consider that pretty good, So
can I ask you something?
Sure.
Who's the guy you think's full of it?
He's a guy. He's a relatively kind of known guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to, I might need him one day for something. I never know. So I never want to, but if he's full of it though, I'm going to scream it from the rooftops.
No, fair enough. Peter Jones, good to see you here. Obviously you can see here, Peter shows you a blank head next to you, but good to see here Mr. Paul Hogden, the man with braces, and he's calling us fine examples of human beings. Yeah. I've never been called that before.
Wow, me neither. I like it though. I like this guy.
Keep the compliments coming, Paul. It's always
I might have to pony up that couple hundred and fly out there for your thing there.
Hopefully he's actually changed that particular event till November. I can't remember the exact date. There's no chance it's going to be live in July. In the UK, we're going to be lucky to even be allowed out our house before March or April. So he's pushed it to November in the hope that we can actually do this in person. So fingers crossed on that. That is at SEOunderground.co.uk for anyone who's listening and wants to potentially attend an event in the UK talking about good things like Black Hat SEO and all that stuff. So he's saying, please commit to coming, Chris. He can't till we know what's happening with the COVID.
Yeah, I know.
Because
he piqued my interest. I went looking to see what are tickets. And to my surprise, it was difficult finding tickets. It was I was just looking,
He hasn't actually launched. He was trying to get interest registered first because he wasn't wanting to commit to the tickets until we actually knew 100% what the date was.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it's a difficult one, but do check it out. SEOunderground.co.uk. register your interest, and the date is now November the 25th.
There's no he says. That's why I couldn't find them. I'm like, where the heck is this?
John, what's up, boys? Andy Woolley, Business Growth Ready from Dark Birmingham, Honey, Mark Flanagan. Yeah, so guys, get your questions asked. Give us some questions to ask because we're 7 minutes in. No questions asked yet. You guys have questions, so let us know what you want to extract from Chris's beautiful brain.
Have you found for GMB, Craig, for any of the clients, or maybe I know that that's not your primary focus, but for your clients for GMBs, were you finding that the service-based business providers that didn't offer anything or just made up something, used a zip code, didn't put in any citations, were they finding it harder to compete for the map pack in your experience, or you don't really? That's not.
No, I've dealt with a few guys, and I've got a guy that just doesn't want. He just has like the pin there, but it doesn't see anything about an actual address. It's actually a lockup the guy's got, but he's kind of a shady guy and all that stuff. So he wants to remain off radar, and his GMBs are all over the place. So they're not as easy. Obviously, listen, GMBs and citations are important, and you know, proper consistency of that name, address, and all that stuff. So if you're leaving parts of that blank, I would imagine common sense would tell you that you are going to have more trouble than maybe someone who doesn't have that. That's so that's just my opinion on it, though. But
no, I like when you give me answers, because then I say, hey, you know the pro Craig Campbell, right? You go watch his thing. He said it too. So like I'll give him an answer, and then I'll say, yo, Craig said it too. That's what I do. I swear to you.
And then what if they turn around and say Craig's full of fucking shit?
Nah. No way.
So let's go for the questions. We've got some questions in. Guys, keep your questions coming. And do also make sure you give the channel a like, subscribe, even leave us a sexy little comment as well. These all help.
Yes, they do.
But sorry, John, your question is first. Would you cloak an expired with good metrics but outdated stuff?
Why? For what? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I don't know why you would even consider that, John. Let us know why you think that you would want to do this, because there might be a reason, and we might be able to say, yeah, we would do it in this instance. But generally, cloaking, and now obviously we've got Brad and Mike on, and they talk about cloaking and stuff like that. Personally, would I use cloaking at all? Do I have to? No, I have used it in the past. Would I use it now? If I had to, yes, but it's not a big part of my marketing mix. Personally, I would rather do things slightly different, even if it costs me more money, takes me more time, because in most cases, I want to make money for the foreseeable future, and not to, using cloaking techniques and stuff like that is only going to lead to one thing. And affiliate managers, if you're doing cloaking for affiliates and stuff, affiliate managers know all the tricks in the book. They're bloody ex-black hat guys themselves. So it's becoming harder. So I'd try and avoid it if I could, John. Not because someone who says it. I like cloaking, I like all the fun stuff, but nah.
Chase your tail.
Randy has got a new affiliate site up. What would be your first steps beyond branding and foundational link profiles?
Social. The first thing that I would do is get my links rolling and content. So I'm assuming that you've already done your keyword research. I mean, I would assume that that's actually before you did anything. So the keyword research and what's your content strategy going to be mapped out for on a monthly or bi-weekly basis. So my content strategy would be next. What am I going to be building out on a bi-weekly basis? And then next is, where am I going to get links to send to these articles? So that would be what I'd be concerned with.
I'm going to show you something, by the way. I'm going to show you something, Randy. I'm not supposed to show this to everyone because it's for a presentation at NamesCon tomorrow, but I will very quickly show you something, and it will make sense to you. So what the hell am I doing? Right, so can you see this slide?
Yep.
Right. So this is the 1st of January to the 17th of November, 2020. Look how much that Amazon affiliate website has made. £250,000. You'll be able to see that it obviously generated £4.2 million for Amazon. The measly commission was £250,000. Now, when I say measly, it really is measly, but you can still make a lot of money. Now, that particular project, that particular website was an age domain from ODYS that was just smashed full of content, and that's it. You know, the figures speak for itself. Now, the particular guy that done that project doesn't believe in link building. He relies on the existing powerful links that these domain names have. He scales them up to that level, then flips them on. Now, who's to say? I'm not saying links don't work or nothing like that, because I love links and I've always used links. But if you can find a niche market, and let me show you one other slide, actually. Give me a second and I'll show you something else.
As a side note, how long did it take him to get to that rate of return?
A year, 10 months, 11 months. Now, here's another thing I'm going to show you. Now, same concept, an age domain. Just let me get this slide up. So again, age domain started in July 2020, and it was scaled up to November. So July, August, September, 5 months, and it was earning three. This is a different website, and it earned $3,500 a month. Now, if I have to sell that website just now, that website would be worth 136,000. That's got 10 grand worth of content on it in a couple of months. Now you can see, obviously July was crap, August wasn't great, but within 3 or 4 months, you can see it starting to really pick up. So that's just a really aggressive content strategy alone. So that would be what I would do, Randy. Just smash content on it. Because I know Randy personally, and I'm not sure if it's the same domain that you bought a couple of months back, Randy. If it is, then you could get away with a similar strategy. It would be very, very much content focused.
In your humble opinion, Craig, what's an aggressive content strategy?
Drop 10, 15, 20 grand on it.
No. How many articles on a weekly basis? 7?
I don't. The way I do it, I don't do it like on a weekly basis. So what I would go away is go to someone, get them to write content for 10 grand. That's going to work out about 300 articles. I would normally initially, as soon as I get that content, smash on 40 of those straight away. Just backdate, vary the dates up and all that kind of stuff. And then I would start probably drip feeding 10 a week on until I had exhausted all of that. Now, very quickly within month 2 or month 3, I'm going to see everything starting to pick up. I'm then going to keep reinvesting in content at that point. So, but I don't want to say just do 5 a week or whatever. I do go in hard at the start and give it something. And I'll obviously, if I launch that website today, I'm going to backdate content on there throughout January, maybe even into December. Just get in there, just backdating the dates, just to mix it all up, smash it out, drop a clump of them on, and then potentially 10 a week.
And if your 4-month prediction were to pass, would you continuously invest, or would you push it on to the next? At what point would you say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. I can't win. Or have you never ran into that?
I've never really ran into that. So when you do that, right? So say I buy, I spent 5 grand in another project on content, and I think I got 160 odd articles for that. Now, that's all I really intend in putting on that website. So I've made my investment. I've used an age domain name. I have then done that. Now, once that content kicks in and all the on pages kicked in, I've got a decision to make, probably in 3 or 4 months' time, as to whether I want to flip that website or whether I'm going to sit on it. Now, if I'm going to sit on it, of course I'm going to start to order content. Now, I'm not going to order another 150 or anything. I'll just look for keyword gaps, and I'll start to do some link building. But normally, the way I see it is I'll invest 20 grand in something, or 30 grand, whatever it might be. And if that gets me up to, say, 5K a month, then I've invested that, 30 or 40 grand, and I've got something that's maybe worth 150. Flip it on. Why would you want to sit on it? And then do the same again and again and again? Because for me, what is really easy with affiliate marketing is taking it from 0 to 5K a month. What is really hard is to take something from 10K a month to 15 to 20, because algorithm updates happen, Amazon start cutting commissions, and all of these kind of crazy things. And I think that's risky, but it's very easy for me to get that initial growth, flip it on at a massive profit, and then it's someone else's problem. So
I love it.
That's
cool. All right, let's go. I got 40 grand for you.
Yeah. So Randy's got a bunch of content on there already. Just do some PR, build some links to it. None of that stuff's going to do any harm. It really depends what your outcome is going to be, Randy. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to do whatever? So that's up to you. But content is king. Go. What were you going to say?
I'm a million things. I'm just thinking.
You guys feel sorry for me, because I'm going to get it in the neck after this show. He's going to be like, bang, bang, tell me this, tell me that.
They don't know about that.
Yeah. But that's always good to talk. But Andy Woolley, good to see you, Andy. What range of income streams would you advise on for an information website?
Advice for an information site? What range of income streams? What do you mean?
So,
like diversity of income streams?
Yeah.
Enlighten me. I mean, I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. Is there a set? I want to get as many different income streams as possible. I mean, the diversity is going to come from the product. So
I'll give you an answer, Andy. So James Dooley, who you met at the Manchester Mastermind. Me and Gary Wilson are just going to do an experiment, and it's going to be an informational website on football stadiums. Now, basically, it's just going to give you a guide how to get there, what the stadium holds, and all this kind of garbage. And quite a lot of people are into that, so we're confident we can get traffic for all of that. How are we going to monetize it? We've got AdSense. There's going to be gambling affiliates on there, hotel affiliates, anything. Because people travel to football stadiums, they're going to need a travel lodge to stay in overnight. They're going to potentially want to have a bet in the game. If we can put in there, get a £20 free bet for signing up to Ladbrokes, then that's a number of different options you can use to monetize that website. Obviously, yours might not be a football stadium. It might be, I don't know, whatever. But just think of what people would want to see on that informational website.
I was thinking something totally different. When he said informational, I'm thinking, like trainings, courses, like videos. Yeah. I was thinking something totally different. I'm thinking, as many as I could possibly make is how many I want. As much as I can. So I wasn't thinking about pumping out content, informational site. I get it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what you mean, Andy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hope so. Sam Fitzgerald. Hey, Chris, I bought your 800 backlink package.
Thanks.
How long would you recommend building these over? And for a local business, would it be best to mix the links between the homepage and the landing pages?
My friend. So maybe I should have put that in there. I mean, as I sold it for foundational and tiered linking, right? So I would cherry pick. There are a lot of good little links in there mixed in the 800. There's 800 of them, but at no time would I build all 800 to my site directly. These are primarily going to be for tiered link building, but there are some gems within there. So I would really go through first and foremost and create the list for yourself. I didn't do it because I didn't want it shared. So I'd be looking for the best ones that make sense for you, that are the highest authoritative, and I'd send those to internal pages. And then aside from that, I'd be using those assets to power up my tier ones. So the amount is I'd cherry pick the best ones, and those are the ones I'd send, and all the rest, build them as fast as you can to the other assets that you have.
Yeah.
That's my best advice, my friend.
Do that, Sam. Evening, Mr. Scott Latham. Simon was nice. Was looking forward to another team up from you two. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Let me just go back. So Amir Kashiba is here. Adam Hawthorne. What is your take on tools like Article Forge that create original articles for your website? I'm not sure you can call them original, but hey, Chris, what's your thoughts on them?
My thoughts are quite simple. If I'm going to utilize a tool like that, I'd much rather get an actual authentic article. That you can buy articles really cheap that are going to produce better, if not equal quality. So in my opinion, I'd rather get an actual unique article that's poorly written that I can edit. But what I have found over the course of time is, skip all that stuff, skip the cheap stuff, buy the content. So you don't have to worry about it. Make sure it's already optimized, upload it, and then don't worry about it. It's going to save you so much headache and so much time and money in the long run. So I would skip over that stuff and just buy good content. That's it. So hopefully that helps you.
Adam, that Chris is just given is really, really important if this is your website you're working on. If you're doing client work and you're just doing the run-of-the-mill kidding on, you're doing good work. And I'm not suggesting that you are, then something like Article Forge could tick a few boxes just to, if your goal is not to make the client that much money. But certainly for my own website, I wouldn't be using it. Listen, I've been in the agency game. I've been working with clients with low budgets. You just simply can't afford articles because the client budget is not enough, and that's where these tools fit into the market for people or on low-ass budgets that want to do the kind of cheap way of working. That's the only time I would ever potentially recommend something like that. Business is business. Sometimes you just got to do what you've got to do to try and get the client, the things moving. But yeah, just invent proper stuff. Everything
in is what you're going to get out. If you're putting crap in, you're going to get crap results. I mean, I've tried it, dude. Trust me. Like, you can't do things cheap, bro. Like, I'm telling you. You got to just pony up, and you will be rewarded over the course of time. And if you can't sit on your hands long enough, then you shouldn't be in this game. So.
See, when you say pony up,
yeah, like get it together, like get your money up, like pony it up.
That's what that meant. Because it has a completely different context here. I would say
these are the hard.
You're talking pony.
What's it mean?
In Scotland, I would say like Chris Palmer's talking pony, which would basically mean he's talking shit. When you're saying pony up, I'm just like, what the fucking hell is he talking about? But yeah, I guess that's what you meant. But it's just weird how it
comes out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't mean to be harsh, but these are the hard lessons. I've had self-talk within myself where I'm yelling at myself like, man, you should have just invested money. This was so stupid. Like, you're going to have this conversation with yourself. That's why I'm telling you, like, just skip over all the shortcuts and just do it right or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
So I've ran into that issue. I'm sure you have too, Craig, right? You're looking for shortcuts.
I'm as tight as I don't want to be paying out any money for anything, but
content you can't skimp on. It's something you have to have. I
hate paying that content guy that I use. I'm just like, oh man, I could have bought a car with that shit. But yeah, it comes in the other end, so it's all relative. Anyway, Mark Flanagan had an issue this week when a page became a lead page of a directory. When I added extra content 2 clicks deep, that page lost rankings. Your opinion on how dynamics change when a single page becomes the home page of a directory?
It could be that Google is looking at the overall site as something completely different. If it's rewarding that page now as the home page, or it's just looking at the whole site completely different, would be my take on it. So that's an interesting question, but that's my best take.
I mean, it's obviously very hard to just off the cuff without seeing what's going on or understanding the situation or what, it's hard to say.
It could be keyword, check, if you're looking at the SERP for those keywords, is that page ranking for what this page is ranking for? Maybe you need to detune one of the pages and maybe it'll regain. It could be a million things. I mean, it could be a couple things.
Yeah. But I'm happy if you want to ping me. I can happily have a look, Mark. If you want to ping me in LinkedIn or whatever, I can happily have a look, and can't promise I can answer it, but I can certainly have a look and give you my thoughts on it for sure. Angelique Cortez, hello. Facebook user, LinkedIn user, hello. Your name doesn't come up, but hello anyway. What was the overall cost for that ROI? I flashed up a couple of websites. I'm not sure which ones I was referring to, but typically the one that was 136 grand, it was a 3 grand spend on the domain, 10 grand in content, so 13 grand basically bought me an asset worth 136 that I could sell tomorrow. The one that was earning 3.5 grand a month. And that was the one that was over a 5-month period. So 13 grand that cost, and I could flip it tomorrow easily for 136. So 10 times in my money, really. I'm happy with that. That's a great figure. Could I sit on it and just keep earning the 3.5 grand? Yes, I could. Could I scale it up? Probably. But who's to say Amazon don't cut the commission again tomorrow or next month or next whatever? I want my money out, in and out, in and out, in and out quickly. And then I can invest in other things. I don't always condone investing in Amazon websites. I just see that as something that's quite easy to scale, and a lot, inherit someone's website or whatever, and buy a crappy website off them, add my strategy to it, and then flip it on. So, so that's why. But I would longer term want to reinvest the money into something a bit more solid than Amazon e-commerce or something like that. But
how long does it take to sell $150,000 domain? Generally,
I mean, it probably takes you 3 or 4 weeks to get listed on Empire Flippers by the time they do all their due diligence and all that kind of stuff. So that's if you're going down that route, and then it's just a case of who's there, who's prepared to, it could sit for a month, it could sit for a week, but you're probably talking about 6 to 8 weeks in general. But if you're going through a broker or whatever, there's guys out there sitting just now waiting to buy up websites. So, if you go private, go through a broker or whatever, things can happen quicker. With Empire Flippers, obviously the buyer has security, because the Empire Flippers want to see the monetization. They understand the SEO, so they're checking all the backlinks, and it's a bit more secure from the buyer's side. But some guys just don't care. But 6 to 8 weeks probably in Empire Flippers is the.
But they do sell websites on there that contain PBNs and things along these lines, right? You still have to do your own due diligence, yes?
Oh, of course, yeah. Always don't just rely on someone else.
Makes sense.
Check it out. Gary Farmer, I keep getting ads from affiliate marketing communities such as STM Forum, and the other I've noticed is I Am Attila. They're looking for 50 to 100 quid per month. Are these forums worth it, and what can I expect to get from them? I've never heard of them, but do you play in forums, Chris?
I've heard of STM, not I Am Attila, but what I found is is it worth to have the community of people just asking questions? It's good. It's not going to be worth the money. There's a lot of other communities out there that are going to have and supply the same type of information and people to lean on and help you and look at their journeys that are complimentary for free. So I wouldn't invest the money. I don't feel it's worth it.
I mean, what I would say, I don't really go in forums these days, but I learned everything I knew from a forum. Back in the day, it was called the SEO Chat Forum. For me, forums is just more of an argumentative place now where people want to call people out and troll people and say this and that. So it's not the kind of place for me, but that's not to say forums are not well, because I definitely learned everything that I know frequenting on forums, because there was no Facebooks and everything when I was learning this stuff. So depending on the forum, how well it's moderated, you could get value from it. But I tend to stay away, and I've never heard of those ones. But Black Cat World and stuff still have gold nuggets in them, which, there's a lot of crap on there as well. But it's just, I think every forum's going to be the same. There's going to be a small percentage of good stuff, and the rest of it's all going to be fluff and sales. So.
And you'll figure out who the good players are. On each forum, there's top guys that answer like they know their stuff. And you can quite quickly decipher who they are and then just go read their posts. Their shares, they'll share stuff. You can learn a lot. But every forum has a couple of those guys and gals. So that's what I would do. Go surfing for the who's got the information and then see what they're doing. That's what I did.
Kevin E. Craig, will you only backdate if the domain is aged? Not new as well, right? Of course, again, though, if I buy a new project, Kevin, or if I buy a new domain name, by the time I get the website populated, it might take me 3 or 4 weeks. By the time I get the content ordered or whatever. So, of course, I could potentially still backdate anyway. Because if I bought the domain today, I'm not probably ready to put content or anything onto anything until probably the start of March anyway. So I would be backdating it to today's date and, putting all that content out. So regardless of what way you look at it, you can still kind of backdate to some degree, because you don't just build a website out in one day and you don't have all your content written in one day. And I'd be utilizing every one of those days just to mix it up so that it looks as if I loaded it all on different days.
How many digital assets do you try to acquire within a year, Craig? If you don't, generally, is there a goal that you have in mind, or whatever comes your way opportunity?
No, I don't have a goal as such. Like, I like to try and, just make money work for me essentially. But, probably in the last year, probably 7 or 8, something like that. Now, sometimes I buy them, flip them on very quickly. Sometimes you buy them, things break or something changes and you hold on to them for longer. Until I've got my feet cleared, I'm not going to buy other stuff, because when I've got a couple of things on the go, I'm super busy. I've got my team doing all this stuff, and until we make that monetize and ready to flip, we wouldn't buy out any more projects. So I'm not going to go out and buy 20 just to have a figure in my head, or whatever. I'd love to, but I don't have the setup, the scale, the structure to be able to do that. And I think what I failed from massively in the past was I had all these ideas, and everyone here in this chat, and including you, Chris, how many domains have you bought over the years that you've never even put a fucking website on? There's countless. So it's the same thing. You just, your idea, your brain runs away with itself, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to build this and I'm going to do that. And my mates, this guy and I could help us both make money. And, I've done all that stupid stuff. And until I've got something making money, no more investments, because I've lost so much money doing, that exact process at the start.
Chase the dream.
Yeah.
So you focus. So that's great advice then. So you'll get your idea, chase it down, and then when it flourishes and brings back to you, then you move on to the next investment.
Yeah.
So from your experience, chasing ideas, which is, a problem for everybody, I would assume. So that's what you found has worked, which makes completely sense. Yeah. You don't get more than one going at a time, or anything.
No, I'll have a couple going at one time. I've got the capacity to do that, and obviously I've got people I can outsource to as well if I need to. If I've got something, if the idea is right, if you came to me tomorrow, Chris, said, Craig, I've got this bloody idea. Look at this niche. Look at the search. Do you want to go in it? And I felt it was a niche that we could make money in, and it was like it's a now or never situation where you either get in now or you're going to lose out. Then I'd potentially take that on as well. But, as I say, I could start 20 new websites. I've got ideas for 20 websites just now. I just don't have the budget, the team, and capacity to do it. And as I say, I could squeeze myself and squeeze more money. But, I'd rather have a handful of good projects that are working and do them very well, rather than have 20 shitty websites that all earn me, $500 or whatever, because that's just good.
And have you found with these affiliate sites, with like the one-pagers that we used to do, at some time, it just seems like they just fall off. Like no matter what you do, with these larger affiliate sites or authoritative sites, have you found that over the course of time, is that why you sell them? You prefer to sell them? Because eventually they're going to fall off and die off anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure the reason why they fall off and die off, but I've had multiple affiliate websites, and you probably get a 2 or 3 year run at it, in my opinion. And then, whether it's algorithms that you get penalized for, whether that's your content all targeting the best this or the best that, something always comes along and fucks you. And, you probably get a good run of 2 or 3 years, even looking at big websites like Gear Hungry, they get 3 years out of it, and then now they've died a death. And, that is why, if I know I can get in at the start, scale it up at the smaller end of the scale, and then flip it on for money, that's my business model. I'm not interested in buying into websites at £1 million and then flipping them for 10 million, because that is just so much risk. It's unbelievable. I would buy a website for £1 million and it would tank, and I'd probably get 50 quid back for it. That's the kind of luck I've got. So it's, do what works, do what works, and don't throw all your money into it. It's like gambling. Sometimes you get a website and it could potentially go balls up.
Sometimes you get, yeah.
So,
but that's what gets you chasing for the next one, and then you lose, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. So you get a winner, then you get a loser. You're just breaking even. What's the point in that? So that's where sometimes you have to say no. Like I'm probably a bit like you, Chris, where I'm, a bit explosive. Like if I get an idea, I'm like, yeah, I get really excited and start diving into it. And I've made massive mistakes. So I need to kind of try and rein myself in now, because I will hemorrhage money on a whim without thinking. And now it's just a case of grabbing that rein on myself and saying, Craig, like, think about this. And I've got a few guys I go to for advice and stuff, and they'll be like, nah, that's shit. Don't do it. So
I wish I had those guys. That sounds like a profitable. Who's the guys that Craig goes to? That's what I want. But anyway, let's get these questions. I'm sorry. I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, that's who I want to talk to.
Ryan Durrani, if you're putting content on at a huge scale and it's a brand new website, it has no authority, where do you send links? What is your process, Chris? So I'll tell you, I'll actually change this around a little bit. So Ryan's always asking, Ryan asked me the other day, do you build a lot of links to your homepage and use internal links to pass that power through a website? Or would you potentially not power up the homepage and power up your inner pages in the hope that your homepage gets power? What way do you think works best?
Well, I've seen both. A lot of times within local markets, they're going to detune the homepage. It's just a branded, and they're going to build power to internal pages, and it carries through the site. However, with that being said, in my personal opinion, I think we talked about this before. I think the power trickles down, right? So for me, as best practice, I would say build it to the homepage. But I've seen very successful local sites that do very well, powering up, link magnet pages, and then it powers up the entire site. So, I would advise you to power up the homepage, but that doesn't mean that the other way doesn't work too. It's not optimal though.
Cool. Hopefully that answers your question, Ryan.
An example is New York SEO. Go check, see who's winning. That's how they did it.
Yeah. James Moore, Chinese phone farms, you think they'd be great for SEO?
Chinese phone farms, do you think it's no, I don't. I don't. Unless each and every single one of these Chinese phone individuals, part of the farm, are on their own secluded SIM card by themselves with their own personas inside, just them going crazy, then yeah, that could work. But other than that, I don't think so. They're probably all on the same network.
So Andy Woolley, yes, diversity. Diversity is the key. Gary Patterson, hey guys, still can't sleep, Chris. I'm assuming that's a personal joke.
We talked this morning. Yeah, he's been up. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning for him.
Man.
He's working on a project, something. He's working on something.
Madness. John Cordova, does Google crawl tabbed content I have 1,300 words article on tab content. Will it count as content?
Tabbed content, will it count as content? It will count as content. Just like I've seen guys stuff into the JSON files, and Google will go and it'll call the API and it'll pull the file. And I've seen pages rank, but this is where there's no other factors involved. So do I think that it's going to be read? Do I think it's going to count? Yes, but it's not going to be as strong as within like heading tags, and then you have your P tags, semantically. So do I think it'll work? Yes, but not in a very competitive area.
Here's one for you, Chris. Don't know if you've ever heard of this. Have you ever hidden text on an image?
Yes.
And has it ranked?
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say. So if Google can rank hidden text on an image, which does work, I can confirm it works because I've tested it. Then I would assume 100% tabbed content would count as content. So Google can see a lot more than they let on. So yeah.
Well, they have those tools, those parse DOM tools. So you can pull your website into there and take a look. And whatever that is, that's what they can see. And what you'll find is everything's in there. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, try it out. Cheap sucks. It bites you every time. Yes, Mr. Mullins, it does that.
Or it's going to cost you time, because you can get cheap and then come bring it into your system, surfer it or pop it or do whatever you want. But now you're talking about your time. What's your time worth? I'd much rather go pay a guy $50 to write me an article that's already optimized, and then bam, it's up and running, because it's going to take me freaking an hour, 2 hours. I just lost $300, so it's madness.
It is madness. Time is money. LinkedIn user is laughing. Not sure who you are. Paul Hogden, on a site I'm making, it has a good 6,000 word article. It now ranks for 64 search terms. 20 of them have over 500 searches per month. So content is king.
Good.
So there you go. Pony up, pay the big bucks.
That's right.
Adam Hawthorne.
Used to tell me that. First, pony up.
Pony up. So Adam Hawthorne, thanks. Great advice as always. Was looking for tier sites, not the money sites. So would you use Article Forge on shitty little websites for tiered link building or PBNs, that type of thing?
Well, sure. I mean, that's exactly what it's for. But when we're talking about a money site, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's for creating money. So yeah, if you're using it on tiered properties, fine. That's, whatever you can get, that's the cheapest way. But your first tier, I wouldn't use it on those, because that's a direct vote coming over to your site. So that's my best advice.
Cool. I tell clients you need to pay for content photos or pay for being cheap. Either way, you're paying. Good advice. Andy Woolley, when building authority pages, which are over 5,000 words, how do you make them more UI, UX, i.e. jump links, accordions, tabs, table of contents? I prefer table of contents, to be fair. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I like what the unstructured lists at the top are perfectly fine. Sidebars work well. I don't like the jump links. I guess it's the same thing, really, but unstructured lists are fine. Table of contents, whatever you want to call it, that's going to do that perfectly fine.
Do that, Andy.
And why 5K? I mean, is the SERP calling for that? I run into these guys and gals, just website owners, and they're writing these huge articles, and I'm like, geez Louise, like, are you sure that's what it needs? You know what I mean? Jeez.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We've got Honey here asking, does content arbitration still work?
I have no idea.
He's Googling it.
Content arbitration, what is it? Arbitration is a private process when disputing parties agree that several individuals can make a decision about the dispute. I don't know how that has to do with content. I have no idea, honey. I don't know. Craig probably knows. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea.
So arbitration to me is it's not what came up in your Google there. Arbitrage. It's just basically, I'm trying to think of the best wording to use here. Basically, using whatever means possible to make things work for you, like stealing it or whatever. Does content arbitration still work? Yeah. Can you steal someone's content by getting their RSS feed to ping you and potentially take advantage of it and get it indexed before them? All of these kind of things can still work. However, whether it's ethical, whether you'll get a takedown request and all of that kind of stuff is a different story. So I would always try and just pay for my own, to be honest.
And another element on top of that is what I found is like all these little, like, okay, I got to get the content. All right, I got to bring it in. I got to hurry up and launch it, get it indexed. You're going to spend so much time, like just like trying to,
it's like, the stress. It's not even the time. It's the stress of it all. It's just not worth it. You're always going to be running at 100 miles an hour. Just like, oh, shit, quick.
That's right.
Fuck that. But listen, still works for certain people. But yeah, do what you need to do. Ellie TP, the best show on YouTube. Thank you very much. Love you guys. What is the easiest way to get Google to index new pages? Should I just create a Web 2.0 and add the links inside there? Thank you.
The easiest way for Google to index new pages, what, on your site?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if your site is authoritative enough and you've created your HTML sitemap and you have your XML sitemap and you update it, the two bots should come and crawl. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard for it to get indexed. It might not be instant, but in the course of a week, if you have a good site or a decent site and you have those elements, you shouldn't have any trouble with getting pages indexed. Keeping them indexed is another story. That comes to quality and things along these lines, but getting it in there, not a stressful thing.
I wouldn't be obsessed with it, but if you are and you want to do this for peace of mind or whatever reason, then also have a look at Omega Indexer. Also have a look at IFTTT. Also have a look at potentially putting your content out in your social media. All of them can help your content get indexed that little bit quicker. But again, you don't need to. The standard process, especially if you're using WordPress or something, you're creating this, it automatically updates your sitemap and that's tied into your search console. So do you really need to force that? Absolutely not. Just get more concentrating the next bit of content and the next bit of content.
That's right. I heard you say something that kind of tinged my ear a little bit. I heard IFTTT for your clients and for you. Do you recommend utilizing that and setting these triggers and distributing content in this manner for your money site?
Yes and no. Like for my website, like my Craig Campbell SEO one, do I want my YouTube videos, my blog posts to get distributed everywhere? Yes.
Of course.
If I was an e-commerce seller, do I do that to sell products? Probably no. It depends on what you're putting out there. I'm wanting traction. I'm wanting, for things to just happen a lot faster. And I think just distributing it through that network, why wouldn't I do that if it's informational or a blog post or a video, a YouTube link, whatever? But certainly not for it's not for every website. But again, distributing it to all of that just can get your stuff indexed faster. But IFTTT, I wouldn't be using it in a general day-to-day basis, like for a local builder or anything like that. I would say it's potentially spammy. For someone like me, yes, I'm trying to get his information out there to as many different platforms as I possibly can. And it makes perfect sense for me to automate that process by using IFTTT. So depends on what type of business you're in. But these are just little suggestions that can help you get indexed a little bit quicker. But
and we missed one thing too, something very important. Make sure that, you make sure you're getting internal links to those new pages that you're launching. Like, I'm sure you are, but that's a crucial thing. And I'm sure you are, but that's like step one. So just sure.
Next question from a Facebook user. Are no follow links good for SEO? Example, Wikipedia.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they are. Go look at your favorite websites. Go look at their profiles. They have do follow and they have no follow. So should you.
A nice, healthy mix. Make sure it looks natural. So, yeah. Tommy Finnan, hello. Hope you're well too. Yaniv Gabe. Hey guys, what's your thoughts about driving traffic to PBN? What's your thoughts on driving traffic to PBN sites to increase the juice of the links from them? If so, would micro workers be okay or crowd search?
So definitely not crowd search, but driving traffic through your PBN to your site would definitely, if you could produce this cheap enough, I think it would be highly beneficial for you. Absolutely. So you want to keep them alive. I wouldn't concentrate on lots of traffic, but a little bit of traffic from your links coming over to your site. Absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah, I would do that 100%. But what I'd also add to that, Yaniv, is why is your PBNs not driving traffic naturally? Why don't you turn them into an affiliate website? Say you've got a golf one, a golf PBN. Why don't you turn that into a golf affiliate website? Why don't you add some content on there that's going to rank? Why don't you start making money from that PBN? It's an asset. You don't have to worry about faking it. Just spend a bit more money and do it properly and have content on there and have social medias and try and drive traffic to it full stop. That is what I would call a real PBN. If it's just a PBN that's sat there, that's got fake traffic, one day you're going to forget about it and all the metrics are going to die. So, yeah, that's just my opinion on it. So business growth ready, purchase loads of domains, even .mobi and .eu, too many ideas and no time to do anything. I am that man as well, man. I feel your pain. Mickleback 72. Have you ever had a site stuck in page 2 or 3 for ages? Possible algo penalty? If so, what did you fix it and rank?
Well, if there's no movement, if it's not steadily going down, it's not an algorithmic penalty. If you're not getting any type of issues within, Search Console or anything along those lines, and we know it hasn't been a manual penalty, which are far and few between. So with that being said, have you freshened the content? Have you looked at the SERPs recently to see who's ranking and how is your page different from theirs? Have you been link building to that page? Have you built any links to that page? How's your internal linking structure? For something to be sitting there, it's probably an on-page issue, and I would tackle that first.
Cool. Yeah, I think what Chris says is right. It's definitely not an algo penalty. If you're stuck, you've just got to dig deeper. Is it the content that's not good enough? Links not good enough?
Yep.
And then, and start content to maybe content's always probably going to be the thing. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Adam Green. Hey guys, when purchasing a few guest posts on Legit or People Per Hour, is there any indication on who would be best to buy from? I know to go niche relevant, but worried some are just spam. So I'll answer that one first. If you go to the likes of People Per Hour or Legit, these guys don't get paid their money until they provide you with what they've promised. The money is held in escrow. So if you buy something in People Per Hour, for example, and you think it's spam, unless that guy produces that link, he's not going to get paid, and you can, get a refund. Now, the indication on who would be best to buy from would probably be based on the amount of reviews these people have got. If someone's doing it 100 times or 200 times or 500 times, I would buy from them rather than the sellers that will get 3, gigs to their name or whatever. So that's just another indication, but it's a try and test type of thing. I've had my fingers burnt as well. But, as I say, these platforms are there to make sure that you don't get your fingers burnt, and that's what they want for their users. So, Chris, you anything to add to that?
No, not really, but I think it is a trial and error thing, just like with any links or providers or vendors of any sort. It's, you got to test them out,
Yep. Andy Woolley's saying, hey Chris, work with white paper and research sites which run over 10k words in one piece of content. Needs to be all in one page, so trying to improve the UX navigation.
I gotcha.
Gary Patterson saying, I've used Article Forge for citation descriptions, and it seems to be great for that after some small tweaks. Fair play. Kerry Maish. Typically, they're very quick, Kerry. I've actually forgot to chase them up for you. I was making slides earlier, but I will chase them up after this for you. But can you email me on my website? I think I said that to you on YouTube last night. Email me through craigcampbellseo.com so that I can reply to you and tell you what the problem is or what the answer is. Typically, if you go through the link that is underneath there, odys.cc, you should automatically get approved. If you go there direct, you won't get your automatic £100 bonus, and you're not definitely going to get accepted, purely because for one reason or another, if they think your email looks spammy or whatever, they might just not let you in. So sometimes they don't let everyone in. But if you go through that link and they haven't replied to you, I'll chase them up. I do know that they launched a new website, and if it was only in the last couple of days that you signed up, they basically changed their website. I'm not sure. I know they had some technical issues 2 days ago, and I'm not sure if somehow it's got lost, but I will chase it up and find out. But do email me through my website. I will follow up with them, and it's just so that I've got somewhere to communicate back with you and tell you what's going on. Because I did see your comment on YouTube last night or the night before or whenever it was. So ping me on my website and I'll be able to get you. Miko back, thank you very much. We have actually answered every question. We've got a couple of minutes left, guys. If you've got any other questions, John Azevedo, yeah. I think arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
Yeah. But any other last final questions? We've actually answered quite a lot today.
Have you ever tried that before? Either the scraping tool from Wayback Machine to where you can pull in the content, or the tools from the YouTube, like their actual, like what they were talking about, and then using that in the descriptions. Have you tried either of those and found success at all, or is it not worth the effort?
I don't believe that it works that effectively. Now, obviously, if you use a scraper and you pull something from the Wayback Machine, that's something that's relatively easy and straightforward to do. However, who's to say someone else has not done that?
Right.
No, a million people could do that. So you're copying and pasting, putting that on there, and you're thinking, oh, this crap doesn't work. So you're going to have to dig a bit deeper and check if someone's already done that.
Right.
And secondly, again, just the whole YouTube thing or transcribing and all that stuff. I've tried everything to get cheap content, and genuinely, I used to transcribe all of my podcasts and everything, and they just didn't work that well. And I'm not sure why. If Google can see what's been in YouTube, or I don't know, but it just does not rank. And I was getting into it, so I was getting it transcribed. So if I had the podcast on for 40 minutes, that would work. That would turn out to be like, say, 8,000 words of content. And I would go in and I'd actually go in and add subheaders and tweak it slightly and all that stuff. But it still didn't work. It still did not work. So what I now do is, for example, if I launch a video on YouTube, one of my 5 or 7 minute videos rather than these hour-long shows, my content writer will just go in and do it in their own words, and that works very well. So doing it properly just seems to work a little bit better, in my opinion. So there you go.
And speaking of working very well, I'm sure you've played with this, but I found something out with, I know Bing brings in a little bit of traffic, but have you noticed that the poor quality click-through on Bing, even if a page is 404 on Google, even if you are completely gone, you can get it to rank on Bing. Did you notice this?
No.
Dude, give it a try. It freaking works. I did a page for on-page SEO factors.
Mm-hmm.
Completely not even Dude, I didn't even put it in the sitemap. It's not even interlinked on the site on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was running just any bot you want, any bot. Finding, clicking, bam, number 2 on Bing. It's pretty cool, dude. You got all of you should try it out. It's cool.
Got one last question here. How to track drop pin links bought from a vendor? Is there any way to track that?
How do I track drop pin links bought from a vendor? Pin links? What do you mean by this? A pin link? I'm not sure what am I missing something here? A pin link? Drop pin links? I'm not sure what you mean. Like pin drops on GMB? Is that what we're talking about?
I would assume that's what it is.
So how do I track them? I mean, I'm tracking them manually is what I'm doing. So it's a manual action, but there are tools out there. I think Falcon's not what I use, but Local Viking does it. I was just introduced this morning to a new tool that has a GeoGrid. You can utilize these GeoGrids, but those 2 tools right now are probably the most prominent on the market.
Yeah, have a look at one of them. Pin on PBNs. Yeah, so try out one of those tools. We do have one final one, CBD Cakes. We can't miss him out because he's a regular here. Just got my GMB whacked. What's the chances of getting it back? So do you get it back?
You can. It depends on what it was whacked for. You know what you were doing. But do you have all of your details in order? Do you have the business card? Do you have the shirt? Do you have the signage? Do you have the address? Do you have a bill, the phone bill, the internet bill? Do you have all of these documents? And what I would do is I would go through the process to get them on the phone or get into a video chat. So you can go through Twitter, you can get in touch with the GMB people, or go through Google Ads to get on with the Google My Business people. So, because it's all different teams. The easiest, fastest way I found to get somebody on the phone actually is go through Google Ads.
Interesting. So just to clarify, you just go on there, kid on you want to talk about Google Ads, and then say, I've got a problem with my GMB.
Yeah, they'll call you back. Yeah, they'll call. And I'll say, I didn't know where to go because I can't find a number. The number doesn't work. And they'll get you, they'll make you sit there for 25 minutes, but they'll get you in touch. Yeah, that's the best way because they'll answer you for money.
Yeah.
They won't answer you for if you just have a problem. But you can get to it through the ad section because they're on live chat right now, like through the hours. Just go through, the live chat box will pop up. You'll sign up for a time, they'll call you, and then you tell them exactly like you're done. Like, yeah, I'm looking at my business, and here's what happened. You just try it out, CBD, as long as you have all those criteria in order, signage and the bill and everything, because they'll have a list of stuff that you need. And depending on what happened, they'll probably be able to reinstate it within 24 hours.
Good man. Fingers crossed you can get that sorted, CBD Cakes. But that is us for this week. Do make sure you do come back again next week. Do give us a like and subscribe. Do check out Chris Palmer's own YouTube channel, Chris Palmer SEO. Just search for that. You'll find them. Easy enough to find. And finally, if you do have an interest in ODYS for aged, premium brandable domains, check out the link below and have a look at what they've got available. You can make a lot of money. So thank you very much, guys. It has been a pleasure, and we will catch you next week. Same time.
See you next week. Bye-bye.